In other news, a shock result in the snap French election. The country is now facing the prospect of a hung parliament after the left-wing New Popular Front alliance emerged as the winner. Gains made by the far right in the first round of voting sparked unrest in the streets, but the left garnered plenty of support, although it fell short of securing a majority government. Deakin University political expert Simon Tormey just happens to be in France on holiday and he joins us from there now. Thanks for letting us crash your holiday, Simon. The far right was expected to storm home here. So what happened?
Well, they've done extremely well, but they haven't done well enough to form the absolute majority that they were hoping for. So it's one of those curious outcomes of another kind of political system where even if you get the largest number of votes, you don't necessarily form the government. So there was a huge effort last week by the centre and the left to come together to form what the French call barrage, to make a sort of dam against the advance of the far right. And that's paid off, frankly. And today Macron probably feels vindicated and ready to roll his sleeves up and start with a new government.
Can you tell us how the left actually pulled this off? I know it's a little complicated, but it was a case of candidates dropping in and out. Is that what happened?
Absolutely. So what they've done is they've put away all their differences, which are very, very varied and multiple across the whole left, the Greens and the centre. And they basically said, let's focus on one thing and one thing only, which is to prevent National Rally from getting into power. So they have put absolutely all those differences to one side. And what they did was horse trade over the previous week in order to make sure that in all the constituencies, there was only one candidate facing National Rally. And that, frankly, they pulled it off. So huge surprise nonetheless. The French media is still in shock this morning. The radio's abuzz. My family's abuzz at the breakfast table. What's going to happen next? So really unexpected, but it is a kind of a three-way split between the centrists, the left and the National Rally now. Given
all the differences, is this government going to be workable?
Well, we use the term ungovernable a lot to describe France because it is a complex political system. It's a semi-presidential system. We've got a president who's partly in charge of some things. We've got a National Assembly which is partly in charge of other things. It does look like a bit of a mess. I don't think anyone who's hoping for very clear governmental priorities over the next year is going to be too excited about what's happened. But it does mean that, you know, there is a new sort of clearing of the political air, if you like. It's now clear that the far right just didn't do quite well enough in order to form the next government. And it's going to be up to Macron to try to forge an alliance which will see France through this quite difficult period. We've got the Olympic Games going. We've got all sorts of debt and interest repayment issues. We've got a fairly angry population out there in the countryside, which was looking forward to a change of government. So there's quite a kind of bill, butcher's bill to pick up there. But it's a new day, a new dawn, and they'll do the best they can to put a government together.
Simon, I follow French politics very closely, but for our viewers that don't, Macron, who is definitely not the only French politician that I know, is this whole thing good or bad for him?
I think it's a very Macron-esque kind of thing to have done, dissolve the assembly, put the whole of France on sort of political red alert in the middle of their holidays when we've got the Tour de France going, we've got the Olympic Games coming, the sun's out. Nobody really wants to be thinking about politics at this stage. But he'll be kind of dusting himself down and going, well, you know, too bad. Too bad for Marine Le Pen and Jordan Bardella. The centre and the left will govern together and we'll do the best that we can up to 27.
Thanks, Simon. Thanks for your time tonight.